He is at it again. If you don't know who PewDiePie is, then consider yourself lucky. Unfortunately, this gamer is the most subscribed person on YouTube. For some reason, he has tens of millions of people watching him play video games. And he has been notoriously, repeatedly problematic. You'll remember, or hopefully not, earlier in the year, PewDiePie was embroiled in a lot of controversy over some anti-Semitic remarks that he made. And just now, this week, the gamer dropped the N-word while playing a game live. This is what he said. "What a fucking N-word. Sorry, but what the fuck?" Let me break it down for you. In the heat of the moment, when somebody is just being themselves, or even worse, when somebody's drinking and that brings out their true self, and somebody says something like this, take them at their word. PewDiePie is a racist. If people keep making excuses for this guy, he'll just continue to be the most followed person on YouTube and succeed. And young people will think it's okay to say and do what this guy does. And this is not an easy conversation to have. And I am not perfect. I am not a saint, okay? I've gotten in trouble in the past repeatedly for things that I have said, but I've never used the N-word. And one time I used the F-word in an awful manner. I'm talking about that incident where I got into a fight with will.i.am and the Black Eyed Peas. I knew what I was saying was wrong, calling him the F-word, and I did it anyways. But I'm not homophobic. And I definitely didn't call him the N-word. Even though I said in interviews, I thought about that because I wanted to hurt this man. And I knew that saying that would be hurtful. Would be even more hurtful than calling him the F-word, which was awful of me to have done. But I didn't do that. I don't do that. I don't use that word in my everyday vernacular. Even if I listen to a song with the N-word in it, I'm not singing along to the N-word. It's not my word to say or sing along to. That's another thing. Like, people, white men specifically, who listen to hip-hop music think it's okay for them to say that word. Don't say that word. Ever. Just stop using it. And stop enabling people like PewDiePie. He is a racist. He is an anti-Semite, 100%. And his excuse, what he said about this, let me read to you his response to all this drama. That was part 2. This is part 1. It was something I said in the heat of the moment. I said the worst word I could possibly think of and it just sort of slipped out. I'm not going to make any excuses as to why it did because there are no excuses for it. I'm disappointed in myself because it seems like I've learned nothing from these past controversies. It's not that I think I can say or do whatever I want and get away with it. That's not it at all. I'm just an idiot. Well, I'm an idiot too, bitch, but I'm not a fucking racist. It should be ingrained in your DNA as to what is appropriate or not. If you're a white person, male or female, don't use the N-word. Simple as that. Let me recap. If you hear it in a song, don't sing along. If your friend who is black calls you that word in a friendly way, don't use it back. Just don't use that word. Simple as that. And the fact that PewDiePie used that word, made anti-Semitic statements in the past, and is just overall awful awful, and he's the most subscribed person on YouTube. It just makes me so sad for the youth of this world, because the majority of the audience of YouTube is young people. I don't want to talk about this anymore because he's not worth my time. But, you know, it is important to have conversations about difficult subjects. For example, last night I was talking about Ted Cruz and that whole drama where he liked a video on Twitter of a porno. He blamed it on a staffing issue today. Sure. But while discussing with people about this Ted Cruz scandal, I was talking about porn because I love watching porn. And what is great about language and society, people, us humans who understand, is that hopefully we grow and evolve. I mentioned to somebody that was tweeting me last night that I was watching, well, first of all, that I watched the Ted Cruz clip because I was bored. I don't usually watch heterosexual porn, but I also watched last night a transgender trans porn, female to male. And I said I was aroused by it. I thought it was way hot. And then somebody pointed out to me that I should, instead of saying transgender female to male porn, that I should say AFAB, ascribed female at birth. And one of my other followers on Twitter chimed in, calling this trans person a social justice warrior. No, that is a trans person speaking their truth and educating me. And I'm thankful for that. So, henceforth, I will say either just transgender, or if I need to be specific for some reason, like when talking about porn, ascribed female at birth or ascribed male at birth. That I did not know that, and I'm thankful for that Twitter user for letting me know that. Speaking of vaginas, Farrah Abraham, remember her from Teen Mom and her pornographic career? Well, she is returning to the world of porn, whether you like it or not. Farrah is going to be making her sex cam debut this week, which just raises so many questions. A, does porn really pay Farrah Abraham that well? And B, does she need the money that badly? I mean, you know, she did porn in the past and she kept working, so it's not like it was a hindrance to her career in any way, but seriously? Like, why? Does it pay that well, or do you need the money that badly? I don't know. Maybe yes and yes. In other wacky news, Victoria Beckham has revealed that she works out 2 hours a day and that is how she maintains her svelte figure. You probably don't eat that much either. Let's be real, all right? Because there was a point before I had 2 kids when I was working out 2 hours a day. And I did not look like Victoria Beckham because I ate like a normal person. In other British people-related news, I was reading some reports about the mother of Katie Price, and I just want to send so much love to Katie Price and her mom and her entire family right now. I really think so fondly of Katie Price. She is an angel to me. When we lived together in that Celebrity Big Brother house, she was a godsend. She kept me sane and was so kind to me and always has been, and I love her. And, you know, that really hit hard, that news of what's going on with her mom. Hopefully it's not as bad as it seems. It's health related. But when you hear things like that, you just think of your own mom, or you think of your own self and your mortality, and you think, oh gosh, do I want to suffer a long illness, or would I rather die suddenly? Like, I was having these thoughts, and I did come to the realization that I would rather suffer a long illness, because I think that's what would be best for my family. If I died suddenly, that would be hard on my kids and my mom and my sister. But if I had an illness and they knew that it was going to happen, at least they could mentally prepare and even start grieving ahead of time. I gotta stop talking about this because this is such a downer. Let me just end things on a positive and ridiculous news. In case you haven't seen it, a new meme challenge is working its way across the internet. It's called Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover. And if you didn't see it already, I posted it. But you can watch my version of that on my The Perez Hilton YouTube channel. And thank you for watching. Let us enjoy our lives as much as possible. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit share, and if you're not doing it already, hit follow. Mwah!